speaking of sports, you think the Blue Jays would be, kind of keen to win a World Series? The last time that happened, if you can believe it, folks, Kim Campbell was prime minister for a day, I believe. You can Google that name.
I think it was about a trimester. She was.
What's that?
It was about a trimester. Like 3-4 months, something like that.
And, I guess, of course, in this town, the Jays have bragging rights with the Maple Leafs. It was Lester Pearson in office as the prime minister last time they hoisted Lord Stanley's mug. But, oh no, the Blue Jays are hypersensitive about wrong thought and wrong speak because they are owned by one of the most deplorably woke corporations in Canada. I speak of Rogers. And basically, what this individual did, folks, is he went on social media. This is Anthony Bass, a pitcher, and he expressed his support for the likes of the boycotts for Bud Light and Target for their crazy LGBT marketing initiatives. Oh, no. As much as diversity is our strength, not a diversity of opinion. And even though the vast majority of people are on Bass's side, and my proof for that, folks, is just check out Anheuser-Busch's and Target's stock price right now. They plunged by billions of dollars. Anthony Bass was hauled before the podium to do a Cersei-like walk of shame from Game of Thrones and give a groveling apology. Let's throw to it, Sheila. Then I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Okay, let's do the terrible, terrible thing that he's accused of doing. Let's show that clip first so people can really get a sense of how disproportionate the outrage is.
Yes.
So let's go to the first thing. I think it's an Instagram post. Let's see what Anthony Bass is up to on Instagram. I don't know anything about Anthony Bass. I don't know anything about baseball whatsoever.
Here's the reason biblically why I believe Christians ought to be boycotting Target and Bud Light and any other corporation that's pushing the things they're pushing. I think a lot of people make this into a political issue, or they say, oh, what's the big deal? If, is it really going to make that big of a difference if I'm shopping there or not shopping there? Here's what the Bible says. It tells us what to do as Christians in Ephesians chapter 5. It says this: take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful to even talk of the things that they do in secret. So what does that mean to take no part? Well, what's Target do? It's a business. They make money. They sell things. And to take part in that is to take part in that God of mammon that they're serving, and to take part in the darkness that they're purveying and getting out to the world and shoving into children's faces. And to take part in that is to give them your money. And I believe the Bible gives us radical precedent to say no. We are running from that, and to instead expose those things, to shout it to all the people that have ears to hear that this is evil, this is demonic. We won't stand for it. We're not going to go to the stores anymore, and we're not going to give them our money. We're going to let our voice be heard so that people can see the light and so that people can be pulled out of the darkness.
Okay, so that's not Anthony Bass, but he shared that on his Instagram, from what I understand.
And poor Mr. Bass.
Pretty tame.
Oh, very tame. But I feel my heart breaks for him, Sheila, because Mr. Bass obviously thought we have freedom of speech in Canada. We don't. We don't have a First Amendment. And so that was a couple of days ago. And yesterday, here's Mr. Bass walking the plank to save his job. Check it out, folks.
I recognized yesterday I made a post that was hurtful to the Pride community, which includes friends of mine and close family members of mine, and I am truly sorry for that. I just spoke with my teammates and shared with them my actions yesterday. I apologized with them, and as of right now, I'm using the Blue Jays resources to better educate myself, to make better decisions moving forward. The ballpark is for everybody. We include all fans at the ballpark, and we want to welcome everybody. That's all I have to say.
Well, not
ballpark
everybody.
Yeah, he's at the old ballpark gulag. He's been clearly re-educated. He just read a script from I don't know, MLB, probably the Blue Jays organization. Where's his union rep, by the way?
Oh,
To say, like, actually, this guy has freedom of speech and freedom of religion. He didn't say anything hateful. Actually, that post said, we've got to help these people. It wasn't like, let's genocide them. It was very biblically sound if you are in a small O, Orthodox, C, Christian. Didn't say anything out of line there. But yeah, this is the result of a 3-day long struggle session for this poor man.
And and Sheila, once again, it shows, don't apologize to the lunatic fringe, because as you can see by that headline in Blog TO, calls grow for Toronto Blue Jays to ditch Anthony Bass for promoting LGBTQ hate. That's the thing about the left. They believe in a economic death sentence for wrong speech, wrong thought. Even in real crime, Sheila, first-degree murder. You're out in 25 years unless decreed a dangerous offender, which is very, very rare. But for a thought crime, you are in the penalty box forever and ever.
Yeah.
And what do you want him to say? He apologized. And here's another one. Oh, of course, from the Toronto Star. The Jays have to get rid of Anthony Bass. How many strikes does it take? I think it's 3 strikes. I don't know where he is.
Sports writer. That's the dumbest headline I've ever read. Like, it's too cutesy by half, that headline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is exactly right, David. This is why you don't apologize, because it's never good enough. You can't apologize for a sin from which you cannot receive redemption. Because these people don't believe in redemption, except for violent offenders, sex offenders, all those people. They can go do their penance, come back, and everything's fine. All is forgiven. For them, the greatest crime, which is irredeemable, is disagreeing with them.
100%, Sheila. But I'll tell you what is really going on behind the scenes. Blue Jays management, by the orders of the corporate owners, they went to Mr. Bass and they said, you either deliver an apology, Sheila, or you're going to be pitching for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. By the way, that is an actual Blue Jays minor league team. How funny. The guy's name is Bass, Fisher Cats, and it's National Fisher Folk Day. There is some synergy going on here.
It's a lot.
And the story behind the story, I think especially in a market like Toronto, where there is a large, probably Canada's largest population of LGBT people. LGBT people, Sheila, are dinks. Double income, no kids, typically. That means lots and lots of disposable income. That means for a baseball team, a lot of potential season ticket holders and a lot of suckers that will buy that overpriced crap in the gift shop, all made in China. That's what's driving it. It's the bottom line guised in the view of diversity, inclusion, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to pose a question, and we'll never know the answer unless he gets traded there. I wonder, Sheila, if Bass was shipped to either the Tampa Bay Rays or the Miami Marlins, which play in the free state of Florida, I wonder if this is an issue at all, because...
Not at all.
That's what I'm thinking. I think this is a Toronto-centric thing. Maybe there'd be select other markets, like if he was with the San Francisco Giants. But I think if this was in the state of Florida under Governor DeSantis plus the First Amendment, no, this is a nothing burger. What do you say?
No, you're exactly right. This is a Toronto problem, like so many of the things in this country. As in Trudeau, also a Toronto problem. This wouldn't happen in so many major league markets. It just happens that Toronto is one of the worst places, I think, on the face of the earth, except for the people in Toronto. Your government is terrible. You keep giving us Trudeau, but the people are great there, and I feel really sorry for them that this is the constant spectacle that their city keeps putting on for them.
Sheila, on that note, by the way, I agree with you. I'm a lifelong Toronto booster. I was born here at Women's College Hospital. I wonder if they call it that still. Like, what's a woman?
What is a woman?
And I've always been, but in recent, I'd say the turning point might be the last 10 or so years, coincidentally, when John Tory was at the helm. But
Yeah.
you know what, Sheila? When you say Toronto is terrible, I'd like to quote Randy Bachman, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because if that Marxist-Leninist Olivia Chow, who is allegedly the prohibitive frontrunner for the seat of mayor, the rails are going to be greased for Hogtown to become the next San Francisco, Seattle, Portland. She's all about homeless encampments in the parks. She's all about so-called safe injection sites. She's all about more bike lanes to increase the gridlock, as well as demolishing the Gardner Expressway. This city is going to go to hell. It is going to need, as Jack Nicholson as the Joker said in the 1989 Batman film, Sheila, this town needs an enema. That's what's going to happen to Toronto.
Yeah. And for those people in Toronto who are going to send me angry emails, I promise you I say the same mean things about Edmonton all the time. We should bump along to this next story because I really can't go late today.
Okay.
Let's touch on just how crazy elementary educators are.
Oh, boy.
So this tweet, let me see if I can pop it up here. This tweet from an account representing elementary educators. It's the ETFO. It's a union committed to public education, social justice, and equity. We represent 83,000 elementary teachers and Ontario education workers. Good gracious. So these are the people teaching your little ones. And they have to say, what did they say here? What's this horrible tweet? Across Canada and worldwide, what we are witnessing is an alarming trend of, they move around where they put the two, and it's very confusing to me because I never know where the two is. And then I train my brain to read it, and then it ends up wrong. Alarming trend of 2SLGBTQI plus hate, conservatism, and bigotry, disguised as concern for children. We must not allow human rights to be rolled back. Creating a safer, inclusive space and Ontario schools starts with you. I like how they've just lumped in personal choice, fiscal responsibility, and freedom, and preserving our culture, I guess, right in there beside hate and bigotry.
Yeah,
wow.
like it's devil worship, Satanism, conservatism. This is how tone deaf they are, Sheila. This is how Marxist they are. That if you're right of center, and by right of center I mean right of Joseph Stalin, they are going to vilify and demonize you. By the way, you raise an interesting point, and we have to address this because this initial gram of letters and numbers that they're into, and it's amazing because the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, they were promoting just like 5 years ago, Sheila, a 17-letter long initial gram. That's the one that got
I would be happy if... Oh, yeah, it got Ledrew fired.
It got Ledrew fired for defending freedom of speech in Canada. He can't make this up when he went on the Tucker Carlson show. But, I did hear from, I won't identify him, but it was a gay broadcaster who said he was as frustrated as everybody else. And he said, why don't we just call it the queer community, right? And I guess...
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't that take them all in? I don't know. I have no idea. I wish these elementary educators would teach kids the 26 letters of the alphabet and how they go together to form words instead of whatever these acronyms are. Because I guarantee you, they can... lots of little kids can hammer off these acronyms because of activist teachers, but get them to read? That's a different story, isn't it?
Oh, Sheila, listen, Lincoln J., our ace cameraman, and I, we were down at Danforth Tech Collegiate Institute yesterday. Used to be, folks, you went to a school, at least this was the case when I was in the Toronto District School Board system, when I went to my old alma mater, Lawrence Park. It was to learn the 3 R's. Well, yesterday it was the 3 drag queens that took over. And it's not even June yet. This plays into your point, Sheila. It was Pride Day, Pride Week, Pride Month. Now we are morphing into Pride season, aka that piece of calendar real estate known as summer.
Summer.
But it's not even summer yet either, right? That's June 21st.
Well, and look how many. We should run a tally, actually, the Pride season death count. How many people get canceled because of Pride season? We've seen one baseball player already, and that happened like 3 days before Pride season kicks off. We should run like the Pride season death count of how many careers have been killed by Pride season just by not properly affirming the most hypersensitive people on the face of the earth.
And on the total flip side, Sheila, you mark my words at the Toronto Gay Pride Parade later next month, you will see hundreds of people marching and even spectating fully naked.
Gross.
And despite the police presence, there will be no charges. Now, you can be topless even as a woman. I'm going back to the Gwen Jacob decision of 1995. Gwen Jacob in Guelph walking around on a very hot, humid day without her blouse, got charged and successfully fought the ticket. She said, if a guy can walk topless, so can I. By the way, I've only seen one member of the sisterhood in over 25 years take advantage of that newfound right. But anyways, I digress. Nobody's allowed to go around bottomless, right? I suppose if you're at a nude beach or a nudist colony, that's a different set of fish on this Fisher Folk Day. But Sheila, there will never be anyone charged. Why is that? If I went to, the Santa Claus parade, the St. Patrick's Day parade, and I got completely naked, which would be a really dangerous thing to do in the month of December or March when it's very chilly, I bet I would be rightfully gang tackled by members of Toronto law enforcement. Why the different set of rules when it comes to this parade in this community?
Is that a real question, David? Is that really a real question?
Okay, here's the question. What does nudity have to do with pride of your sexual orientation or gender identification? Explain that.
Well, and I have no idea, and it's counterintuitive, isn't it? If you want acceptance and you want people to not think of you as strange or other, maybe quit acting strange or other.
Yeah. Yeah, double standard as always.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.